If you've been living under a rock or something, then you probably haven't noticed that Bitcoin is making a lot of people money right now. Bitcoin has been going crazy. It's going even more parabolic for the search term on Google Trends for Bitcoin halving than I previously talked about in my last Bitcoin halving video. Okay, this wasn't unexpected, but it's exciting to see that Bitcoin is doing very, very well. So in this video, I know a lot of people have been asking me this question. Alex, should I buy Bitcoin now? Is it too late to buy Bitcoin? What's the good price to get in? I'm going to be tackling that question. And towards the end of this video, I'm going to be showing you guys a very, very fundamental chart that shows that one Bitcoin can potentially reach the value of $288,000 per Bitcoin. Keep watching. What's going on, everybody? Alex back with another cryptocurrency video. Today we're going to be talking about Bitcoin, everything about Bitcoin, because it's been doing well. I'm sure a lot of you have seen it. But the question that a lot of people have been asking me on my, Instagram, follow me on my Instagram if you haven't followed me there yet. They've been asking me in my group chat, hitting me up with private messages and everything. Alex, should I buy Bitcoin now? Is it still a good time to buy Bitcoin? It went up 20%. Should I still be buying it? And in this video, I'm going to attempt to tackle that question as if I don't have any Bitcoin at all. So if I had $0 in cryptocurrency and I was just starting, but I had, the intelligence of what I have today in this market, what will be the exact steps that I will take to purchase Bitcoin? Okay, I'm going to give you the strategy towards the end of this video, and I'm going to give you a whole bunch of bullish case news about Bitcoin, what's going on in the market and why it's been doing so well. And then I'm also going to give you a price prediction about, I'm not joking on this, how one Bitcoin can be worth like $288,000. And what that basically means is if you buy Bitcoin now for $9,000, it can 28x. Okay, we'll talk about that towards the end of this video. But before we get started, guys, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, my name is Alex. I talk about everything cryptocurrency and internet entrepreneurship. If you're looking to make money on the internet, hit the subscribe button as well as the push notification bell so you get videos like this all the time. As you can see, I'm talking about current events. So if you get to it first, it could potentially help your situation out. Now, of course, none of my videos are financial advice, and I highly advise people to really, really do their own research. And if you don't know how to do your own research, well, I made a course for that. I'll leave that link in the description, as well. It's called Fundamental Secrets, basically fundamental analysis for cryptocurrency. It's one of those high caliber courses, not for everybody. I'll leave that link in the description below, but it's not the video for that. What I really wanted to talk about, though, is that I am now in a position in my company, in my business, my YouTube channel, as well as my course and other, marketing ventures, that I could actually hire somebody. So if you're on my YouTube channel, you watch my videos, you like my content, and you're dedicated and motivated, I'm actually looking to take on one marketing assistant. So if you don't have to have experience. So I know a lot of people don't necessarily have finance experience. As long as you're willing and you have a passion to learn finance, cryptocurrency, and a little bit of marketing, this is the job for you. But keep in mind, guys, I'm only selecting one person. You're going to have to fill out an application. So go ahead in the link in the description below. It's going to be a complete application. It's asking for your resume. I've had some people say, I don't have a resume. We'll make a resume. Basically, the more effort you put into this application process, the higher chances you'll get in an interview. So what I'm basically going to be doing for the next 10 days is reviewing all these applications. If you don't complete it, you're immediately omitted because I know you're not serious. Go make a resume. It's going to help you for the future, right? You should have a resume. Complete the personality test as well as answer all the questions to the best of your ability. I don't want people just one sentence. I'm not going to hire you if you're giving me one sentence answers. I want people that are motivated about this. Now, really quickly, guys, you're going to get paid hourly plus commission. So I don't want people that are just there for the hourly as well. If you're looking to kind of just be minimum and not make that much money, this is not the job for you. I'm hoping that whoever gets hired for this process can get up to $5,000, $10,000 a month, which is fairly easy from what I'm offering you here. So that means I'm looking for entrepreneurs, okay? These type of people that are willing to work extra hard to make extra money, okay? People are willing to learn nonstop, that can read books, right? That can go above and beyond. Of course, it's going to be hourly, where I basically tell you there's certain tasks that you have to complete, but that's not my goal. I don't want to hire an hourly person. I want to hire someone that's motivated to take off. Now, keep that in mind, that's the most important thing I'm looking for. I'm not looking for like someone that has a whole bunch of cryptocurrency experience. Now, that would be good. Don't get me wrong. But again, the biggest thing for me is a person that has the ability to learn work hard and solve problems. Even if they don't know the answer, they can Google and solve these problems to the best of their ability. That's what I'm looking for. And my interview process is going to reflect that. Okay. So, again, fill out the application. I'm going to be accepting, interviews. We're going to get on a Zoom call and I'm asking more questions and we'll see who comes out on top. Okay. So that's it for that one. Guys, go to the link below and go ahead and apply to this job application as an assistant marketer. All right, let's jump into the video. So I'm just going to throw this at you guys. When my kids get older and they look back, at the coronavirus and what's going on with the C virus and everything like that, what did you do during the coronavirus, Dad? I bought more Bitcoin. I'm not going to curse, but legend. It's crazy because this is true, because what if it comes to fruition, right? What if, Bitcoin actually becomes really popular and makes a lot of money, comes 288,000 or whatever, or one coin's worth even 100,000 would be crazy. And then the coronavirus ends, and then your kids are looking back at history oh my God, you were in the coronavirus. What did you do? If you would have bought Bitcoin at that time, and both of them, if our predictions come correct in cryptocurrency, you will be a legend. I don't want people to miss out, even if it's a couple $100 and that's all you can afford. Guys, watch this video. This is going to be something where you can average in and make a good position. So short term, you don't feel bad, because personally, for me, if I were to put $1,000 into Bitcoin right now and it went down, it would not affect me. But I know for the average person, that's really important that they make money quick so that they can feel good about their investment. That's fine. So I'm going to show you what I would do. Now, this isn't guaranteed in any way, shape, or form. Again, like I just told you, if I put money in tomorrow and Bitcoin drops, it would not affect me. Okay. I just want to be very clear with you guys on this video, but I will show you a strategy in which you can minimize your loss so it doesn't feel as bad if it does go down, or it doesn't, you might actually, make some serious money in the short term. So, yo, by the way, guys, I found this really cool merchandise company. As you can see here, they sell hats, they sell shirts. I'm actually just bought this sweatshirt right here, the internet money. I'm not going to say it on the internet, but I like the way he's making these shirts. One of the best I've seen in cryptocurrency. So it's actually embroidered. So the physical words, I don't know if you guys know what embroidering is, but it's actually stitched into the shirt so it can last a long time. I just actually bought one myself. I'm waiting for it to come in. I'll show you guys in one of my videos or something like that when it comes in. But yeah, if you're looking for some cryptocurrency merch, I highly suggest you come and get this. If you haven't heard of this saying right here, it's popular in hip hop. There's a specific label that says it in, all of their songs and stuff like that. And I think it's just one of the best, cryptocurrency websites when it comes to fashion and stuff like that. They're really kind of setting a trend. And I just thought it was interesting. I wanted to show you guys, this shirt company here. I'll leave the link in the description. Go ahead and check it out. First thing I want to show you guys is the last video when I talked about Bitcoin halving. We were about right here. We were right here. Okay. It's going parabolic. Now I want you to notice before Bitcoin halving in 2016, look at the search trend there. Compared to this, what does that mean? That means that there's a lot more people in Bitcoin than there was in 2016. And guess what? Bitcoin went to 20K. There's a lot more new faces in cryptocurrency. This is a perfect example. There's just more search terms, guys. There's more search. And why there are more people is because what happened in 2017, everybody feel like they missed the boat, right? They feel like they missed the boat, or they thought it was a scam, and they were like, oh my God, the bubble popped, it's over with Bitcoin. And that's what happened here. Around 2018, it's over with Bitcoin, right? It happened to be a Ponzi scheme. We were all right, yay. Okay. And then we started seeing Bitcoin rise. We started seeing Bitcoin coming from that $4,000 mark to 14,000 and dropping it. Then they're all like, oh, whoa, what? Whoa, that's crazy, right? And they're all realizing that maybe it's not a bubble. Maybe it's just, volatile market, and it could potentially be something in the future. And that's what I predict that's happening now, is that all these people that previously didn't get in 2017, but were watching their friends get rich, are now, researching it, understanding what it is, and taking action on it, okay? So guys, look at the difference. This is in 2016. This is now. It's going parabolic. 12 days to the Bitcoin halving. If you don't know what that is yet, I have videos on my channel. I really highly suggest that you guys dive into those videos, because you don't want to miss out. Okay, you don't want to miss out. This is not a video talking about that specifically. I have other videos on that, like I explained. But let's just jump into more Bitcoin news. So in this article here, we basically just had, the Bitcoinists. They're basically talking about how Bitcoin right now, is going up and stocks are going up, but Bitcoin is going up for a different reason, right? So if you didn't know, the U.S. government they're printing more money. Right? They're bringing interest rates to zero. They're dropping interest rates. They're printing more money for people. And, that's why the stock, and actually Jerome Powell admitted to this live, which we'll watch the video in this video. We'll watch the video in this video. We're going to look at that. And he admitted live that they're doing everything in their power. He even said that the goal of right now is to print as much money and that's not the specific words, but he basically said the goal is to print as much money as possible without damaging the future. So they know that this quantitative easing is really bad for the future, really bad for the economy, right? So another thing I want to show you is Peter here. I don't know if you guys know who he is in the cryptocurrency community. He basically he's a gold bug. He always talks about gold, and his way of marketing to gold is having the same principles as Bitcoin. So he believes in, how the quantitative easing is really bad and all the same mindset. His marketing tactic, from what I've seen throughout the years, is that he just completely bashes Bitcoin as much as he possibly can. And he says that Bitcoin is like a cult, and he does everything in his power. And it's funny because somebody kind of put this here and I wanted to show you guys. And it's basically him calling the bottom of Bitcoin, saying that, Bitcoin's done, right? It looks like Bitcoin 4,000 support level is broken. It's now a bloodbath as the floodgates are wide open. So he's basically telling people not to buy Bitcoin at 4,000. Boy, is he wrong. It's almost at 10,000. You would have like 125%. By the way, guys, like Bitcoin has been the best producing asset out of any asset class in the whole entire world in 2020. I'm talking about this year. A lot of people always want to say, I bring out the, how Bitcoin's the best asset class of the last decade, the last 10 years. Everybody's, oh, but it's only 10 years. Okay, what about this year? If you would have bought Bitcoin, you would have been in a better position than any other asset class in the world. And, this guy's telling people not to buy it. Don't make the mistake of thinking that buying Bitcoin below 3,800 is a bargain just because the current price is better than 80% below its record high. Bitcoin could easily drop another 80% from here. Okay, wrong again. Bitcoin pump and dumpers are losing their mojo. They managed to pump the price up by $550 in 1 minute, 7.5% spike, yet the dump reversed the entire pop with 8% drop in 7.5 hours. Bitcoin pumpers can no longer sucker new buyers, and the game is over. Obviously, that's not true. I mean, I don't think that Bitcoin flourishes off of suckering new buyers. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is more and more people are obviously researching Bitcoin. He owns a gold company, and that's simply what he's doing, guys. He's doing everything in his power to bash Bitcoin because it's good marketing, good PR for his narrative in gold, right? And then another one where he's just been wrong over and over again, saying getting ready for another 50% drop at 5,300. Now we're at like what, 9,000, 9,000. I don't even like looking at the daily price, but Bitcoin obviously is doing better than any other asset class, including gold, right? Another thing I want to show you, it's even better than the S&P 500. Obviously, stocks fell as well as Bitcoin. Bitcoin went down way further, and of course it recovered faster, but we've been playing catch up ever since. And recently we passed the S&P 500. Yes, we are doing better in recovery than the S&P 500, okay? I want you guys to understand the significance of that, okay? Remember, S&P 500 has way more money invested, okay? Bitcoin is a speck on earth compared to the S&P 500. Okay, I want you guys to really wrap that around your head there, right? Now, I just want to do some quick technical analysis just to show you guys what I would do. And this is going to we're going to come back to this chart towards the end when we're talking about what would you do to average in or, hold your position, make some money in Bitcoin. And just really quickly, as you can see here, I drew this a while back. There's basically 3 major resistance levels that I'm looking for. So one obviously is going to be around $1,200, around this range right here. One is going to be obviously the last all-time high of $20,000, and then this more recent one, which is a 13,000. This one that we recently saw. So right here, as you can see, we kind of rejected so far. It didn't close out there, but we rejected at $9,500, and we went down. So just keep this in mind when we start talking about your entry position. But just understand that this is an ascending wedge. So what that basically means is that every single time it hits the top, then hits the bottom, then hits the top, then hits the bottom, every time it does that, it's a coil effect. So essentially, the longer we stay in this wedge, this could go either way. It can go up or down, right? So either way it goes, it coils down as it keeps hitting. And then when the coil pops, it's much more force. So if we keep playing around here, whatever way you pick, it's just going to be more exponentially true or wrong, right? So I want you guys to really, think about that when you're investing in cryptocurrency. It's extremely volatile. So let's go to Jerome Powell because I thought this video was extremely interesting. And let's just see what he has to say.
We have not been on such a path for some time, which just means that the debt is growing faster than the economy.
The debt is growing faster than the economy.
This is not the time to act on those concerns. This is the time to use the great fiscal power of the United States to do what we can to support the economy and try to get through this with as little damage to the longer run productive capacity of the economy.
As little damage to the long run productive capacity of the United States economy. So they literally know that what they're doing now is going to damage the economy in the future. Now, I'm not saying that this is like, there's no way I can sit here and comment on, the world economic conditions and propose a plan that's going to solve everything. There's no way I could do that. That's not what I'm trying to do. What I'm explaining to you, there's a lot of people on the internet that are saying, that the stimulus check is ultimately a good thing. That's not the way to assess it. The way you should be looking at it is it might be a good thing for the short term, but let's prepare for the long term, because even they know that the long term, it's not going to work out. It's a damaged system. It's not working, and it's pretty obvious.
As possible. The time will come again, and reasonably soon, I think, where we can think about a long-term way to get our fiscal house in order, and we absolutely need to do that. But this is not the time to be, in my personal view, this is not the time to let that concern, which is a very serious concern, but to let that get in the way of us winning this battle, really, world level.
So basically, he's admitting everything that we've been talking about on this channel in this video. Okay, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, there's a lot of videos, previous videos you need to look at on my channel that we talk about specifically what's going on. The biggest use case for Bitcoin, and there's other use cases that we're gonna dive into, like I said in this chart, the $288,000 Bitcoin. There's other use cases we're gonna talk about. But one of the biggest use cases is when people lose faith, the biggest premise of Bitcoin, when people lose faith and money in the government, they need a sound money hedge against it. They need a way to save their money so that the government doesn't screw it up, okay? It doesn't screw up their savings. That's essentially the big argument for Bitcoin, guys. I really don't care about, anything other than that. That's just the truth. I think, cryptocurrency is here for a reason. It's to save people, it's a safe haven. All right, so we talked about the S&P 500. We talked about basically how they're admitting of what's going on right now. We talked about some bullish case scenarios and how, the Bitcoin halving is going parabolic. All right, so let's talk about the prediction and exactly what I would do. Now, this is a chart that we've seen before. Before you click away, this is the stock to flow model. We talked about it a long time. If you haven't seen a video on that, there's other videos again for that reason. You'll see it in my previous videos. I believe I talk about it in the Bitcoin halving video. Now, the same guy that made this coin that went viral for making this, Plan B, he actually just came out with a new one, okay, which he thinks is a little bit more accurate. And this is where we're going to get the $288,000 Bitcoin. This is where we're getting it from. So I'm just going to quickly go over this article in my own words. You can go look it up for yourself. All you have to do is, search Bitcoin stock to flow cross asset model. That's all you have to do. He basically takes gold and silver and integrates it into the stock to flow model to get a more accurate prediction, right? So just to give you guys a brief explanation of what's going on, he's talking about here, the basis of S2F, which is stock to flow model, by removing time and adding other assets like silver or gold to the model. Because silver and gold, the reason why people adopt silver and gold is for reasons, right? And the reason, people adopt Bitcoin are going to be different reasons. Now, he's saying that we're kind of evolving to the silver and gold reasons. Let me explain. It's a little bit difficult to understand. I call this new model Bitcoin S2F cross asset model. S2FX model enables the validation of different assets like silver, gold, BCC in one formula, okay? So there's one thing we have to quickly explain is phase transactions. What they're basically saying is that, there's different phases, for example, of water. There's a solid, liquid, gas, and then it's ionized in some cases. And the same thing with money, right? Money has its different phases. Phase transitions are also present in finance. For example, the US dollar has transitioned from gold coin, $1, grains of pure silver, to paper-backed gold, to paper backed by nothing. Although we keep calling it the dollar has totally different properties in these three phases. Okay, so you're essentially just like water. The dollar, the storage of value has different phases. Same thing for Bitcoin. So as you can see here, the blue is the original case of Bitcoin, which was e-cash proof of concept. It was a concept for electronic cash, right? And that's what got, I guess you could say, the original adoption of Bitcoin, right? Then it was like a cheap payments network. That's why people use Bitcoin, because it's really cheap to send transactions, right? Then it was like an anonymous darknet currency, okay? People on the darknet were using Bitcoin for illegal transactions. Then it was a reserve currency for crypto, okay? When everybody was going into altcoins, people used Bitcoin as a reserve currency. Then it was censorship resistant, like an e-gold, right? So when China banned it and there was a whole bunch of censorship on cryptocurrency, Bitcoin was used as a hedge against that. Then it was a programmable shared database. As you guys know, it's an immutable database, public, right? And it's shared across the world with peer-to-peer networks. Now we're kind of close to an uncorrelated financial asset. That is what Bitcoin is serving right now. Okay. Now, what he's saying is that it's kind of evolving from this point, and we could potentially go into the gold and silver reasons and narratives, right? That's essentially what he's saying, right? So, for example, we just go over it again. Proof of concept after Bitcoin white paper. This was the proof of concept. Payments after USD, kind of matched Bitcoin when Bitcoin was worth $1. Then e-gold after the first halving, 1 Bitcoin was 1 ounce of gold. Then a financial asset after the second halving, 1 billion transactions per day milestone, legal clarity in Japan and Australia, futures markets as CME and backed, right? So this is where this is what I mean by financial asset, right? Now, if we come over here, he kind of grouped these into their own like little categories, as you can see here. And the four that we just talked about, these are like kind of like the four clusters, right? Proof of concept, payments, e-gold, financial assets. This is the first cluster, second, third, and fourth. Now, what he's doing is he's predicting Bitcoin using the S2F model, using the stock to flow model, but he's including silver and gold. So same thing, these clusters here are showing that. He's also showing silver and gold, okay? And doing predictions, note that the big difference with the original S2F model is that I use silver and gold S2F and market value data and regression analysis. So essentially, what he did is he used the S2F for gold and silver and implemented it into this model so we can make prediction. Now I'm going to leave the article for you so you can dive in deeper depth because this video will be way too long. But let me just show you. This translates into a Bitcoin price given of 19 million Bitcoin supply. So the circulating supply, there would be 19 million out in the world of $288,000 between the time of 2020 and 2024. And the reason why I put this in the video is this because this is going to be very relevant in you buying Bitcoin now. This is going to speak the whole tune of what we're talking about here. This is why I told you it doesn't even matter to me if Bitcoin drops. If I bought some today and Bitcoin dropped 20%, I would not care. It would obviously be mad because I lost 20% of my money. Don't get me wrong. But it's not as big of a deal as you think it is because in the long term, it makes it irrelevant, right? It's very irrelevant. So as you can see, Bitcoin is highly undervalued even today, right? Now, these are all predictions. Of course, none of this is financial advice. Keep in mind, guys, there's a lot of smart people that are verifying all this stuff. Like, it's not just me on the internet. I'm just trying to be straightforward because a lot of people think I'm crazy. So what would I do right now if I was to get into Bitcoin? Let's go to coinmarketcap.com. Let's look at some price. And I'll tell you exactly what I do. Now, it's not complicated. That's the beautiful part of my strategy is that it doesn't take too much effort to look at something like this. And it's pretty consistent across the board. So I do it a lot, right? So if we just kind of zoom in on what Bitcoin is today, actually, I think a better chart would be if we look here. So essentially what I'll do is you can see it rejected here. We talked about the ascending triangle and everything like that. It rejected at the top here. Okay, and it went down, and you can see, like, I drew these lines a long time ago, and it's been following the path pretty clearly. It kind of bounced up from here, rejected here, it follows the path. So essentially, right now, we're at a good position to buy, right? Now, keep in mind the coil effect. The coil effect basically says that if it does break through this triangle, it's going parabolic. We can potentially see new all-time highs if it breaks this triangle. Specifically, so essentially what I'm watching, okay, and we've got to be very specific on this type of analysis, is right here. If it breaks through, then I'm going to get very bullish. At that point, I'll definitely probably add to my position, okay? We get here. If it breaks through this previous resistance of 12,000, 13,000, I'm getting even more bullish. Then I'm like, wow, we can actually probably see a new all-time high. If it breaks the 13,000 and we see something like a $15,000 Bitcoin, then the chances will increase that it's going to break 20,000, okay? And then if it breaks 20,000, okay, that's when we're going to be ultimate bullish. Now, if you wanted to get in on this point, you have zero cryptocurrency. What I would exactly do is wait. Right now, we kind of rejected off this line here. So essentially, if it doesn't go past this, then we most likely will see something where it will bounce here. It could play as long as it wants, but essentially, coil is going to keep getting stronger and stronger. And if it breaks up to the upside, it's a lot of money. If it breaks to the downside, we could potentially lose money or you can get some cheaper Bitcoin, right? Now, what I would do is right here is I would put my first position. So let's say hypothetically, I wanted to invest $1,000. I would break that $1,000 up into 5 or 10 equal distributions. So that means, let's say hypothetically, we're breaking up into 5, okay? It's called dollar cost averaging. Okay, so what we do is right now, you're gonna put it, if you're unsure, put in that $200. So if we're breaking up, 1,000 into 500, put in that $200 now. Okay, you put in the $200 now. So what happens if the price goes up, then you just made money and you're happy, okay? But if the price goes down, then you can technically double up. It's not technically doubling, but you could put that second position in. So let's say hypothetically, we're right here at 8,700. In these different transitions, you wanna wait for a 20% decrease. I would say anywhere from 10 to 20%. Right now, that being that I have so much crypto, I usually wait about 25 to 30%. But for you guys, since you don't have any cryptocurrency right now and you're waiting to get in Bitcoin, I would say wait 10 to 15%. Okay, 10, anywhere from 5 to 15, depending on how much. Like, guys, like I just told you, Bitcoin could potentially be worth $288,000 in 4 years. And that's the overall premise I want to get you guys, is that, $500 difference, whoop-de-doo, right? $500 difference doesn't mean anything to me. That's what I'm trying to tell you, is that this is just to make you feel good for the short term. So essentially, again, just to go back over it, we put in the first 200, which is a equal distribution of 5. So if you're investing $1,000, you put in the first 200. If Bitcoin drops 10 to 15% or 5 to 15%, depending on how bullish you are on Bitcoin, you put in the other 200. Okay, if Bitcoin drops again 5 to 15%, you put in another 200. You keep going down until you have no more money. All right, and if it's dropping substantially, so if you see it break below the wedge, if you see it break below this wedge, then instead of waiting 5 to 15%, you can wait more. You could be like, okay, it dropped below the wedge. It's going down a lot. Let's wait now 25%. So it's called technically dynamic dollar cost averaging, which basically means that when there's riskier conditions, you tend to wait a little bit longer and dynamically change your trading strategy. It's not super on point with the 5 equal distributions. So if it dropped, 100% tomorrow, you could potentially just go all in and you'll have a good chance of making some money. So essentially, you guys get what I'm saying here. As it goes down a little bit more, 5, 10%, depending on what's going on in the conditions of the market, you could potentially ease in, okay? But what I'm trying to say, guys, if you have no cryptocurrency, don't get greedy. And greedy to me means you waiting for a cheaper price, because guys, like I told you, a $288,000 Bitcoin is ridiculous. Let me show you what I'm saying. So hypothetically, let's say you get one Bitcoin right now, where we're at like what? Right now we're at about 8,700. So 8,700 times, I think like 28 or something like that. So if you put in that, if you buy one Bitcoin, 8,700, guys, it's like a 28 to 35x, 28 to 35x on your money. Now, if you're being conservative and you say Bitcoin's going to hit 150,000, 100,000, that's a 10, 15x on your money. Don't get greedy over a 10% decline, right? That's to me what greedy is. So again, you guys got the whole strategy, dynamic dollar cost average into Bitcoin. If you don't have any, if you're looking to add more positions, you could use this strategy. This is what I use. Now, of course, it gets a little bit more complicated. I have a whole entire course for that. You guys can, go ahead and check the link in the description below to get more information. If you haven't already applied and you are looking to get a job, I leave the form in the description below, but that's it for this video, guys. If you like the quality of this content, hit like. If you don't, leave some constructive criticism in the comment section below. Subscribe for more video updates on cryptocurrency and internet entrepreneurship. And like I always say, if you don't get with this technology, you will get left behind. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Catch you in the next one.